financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. And this is our first segment of Law and Reality on Channel 50. So I want to welcome ourselves to Channel 50. We're glad to be here at our new time on Sunday mornings, and we're also on Tuesday mornings at 5 a.m. My name's Ken Gross. I'm your host, and my co-host is Brian Small. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Ken. A pleasure to be here.
Brian is our financial crisis managing partner attorney at THAV GROSS.
Wow, that's a lot to put on a business card.
Bankruptcy problems, solutions outside of bankruptcy. You also do some estate planning.
Absolutely.
Jeffrey Linden.
Good morning, Ken. Great to be here.
Jeffrey handles our tax problems and also commercial litigation at the firm.
That's true. And the probate litigation.
And probate litigation. And then Pat Samasco from Samasco Law.
Good morning.
Sometimes we'll see his brother Jim on the show. Pat is an elder law expert and also financial planning.
Yeah, I do both, yeah.
So a little background on the show. We cover a broad range of legal topics. And the whole approach is to try and take a practical approach to solving issues. So we're not about theory. We're not about talking about how necessarily interesting a certain case was, that sometimes lawyers get into that conversation because sometimes it's interesting, but from a practical standpoint, people want to know how to solve their problems, and that's what Law and Reality is about. And the methodology we use is what I would call a business approach. By trade, I'm a business attorney, and how I've always viewed the law and my role as a lawyer is a client comes into me with a problem. The problem may be a litigation problem, the problem may be a tax problem, it might be a financial problem, it might be a estate planning, elder law, Medicaid problem, or it could be a business problem, so where he's selling his business or where he's got the bank, crawling down on him and calling his loan because he's out of formula. How do you solve the problem? And what we do is we analyze the problem, break it into its components, and figure out the optimal solution. That's what lawyers do. We solve problems. So, things we're going to talk about on the show. We're going to talk about financial issues, credit card debt, avoiding foreclosure, medical bills, solutions using bankruptcy or outside of bankruptcy, which is Brian's bailiwick, elder law issues. What if mom or dad have to go into the nursing home, and the financial issues that go with it? Pat, Pat's been doing it for how many years? 4? 4,000?
Yeah, pretty close. Somewhere in there, around 25, 30, something like that.
Okay.
Long time.
And we got tax issues. We've got unfiled, with Jeff, unfiled tax returns, unpaid taxes. We talk about, and you hear on TV and radio, how to settle for pennies on the dollar, which is something you can do in certain circumstances.
Absolutely.
How to deal with the IRS on an audit. What if you have if you have a collection agent, IRS collection officer coming to your home or sending you letters saying you have to come into the office because we're going to seize your assets? How do you handle that? You got business tax problems where companies don't pay their payroll taxes. And then business law issues, selling and buying businesses, employment agreements, covenants not to compete. Everyone always thinks, covenant not to compete is not enforceable. Not true.
Very enforceable.
Covenants not to compete are enforceable, so you need to know how to structure them. You need to know whether you're looking at it from the employee's standpoint or from the employer's standpoint. Jeffrey Kirshner, who's on vacation this week, covers Social Security and Workers' Comp. He's a regular on the show. And criminal issues with Scott Weinberg. Scott is occasionally on the show and helps us out with criminal law issues.
You missed one.
What did I forget?
Financial planning, retirement planning.
With Pat.
Yeah.
I thought I had that in there.
Yeah, a little bit different than retirement planning. You got 30 more. You retired. You got 35 more years to live. How are we going to get you to the end?
Can I be your first candidate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I talked to Bonnie.
Not this week.
We're going to keep you working.
How much? We're
We're going to keep you working till you're 85.
How many more years do I have to keep working?
20.
Oh my goodness! Wait, that would mean until I'm 65
know,
because I'm only 45.
People want
Liar. No.
If you can work and you enjoy working and
Yeah.
it's therapy to
Why
work,
not?
work.
I have no intention to ever retire completely. I would like to get to the point of slowing down a little
Right.
bit. You know, that's something that I sometimes think about. All right, so we're going to develop all these concepts of what we do with a case study. And it's going to be, the beginning point is going to be the smart strategy to resolve financial problems. So we're going to look at financial issues. And we're going to use a case study with Frank and Nancy. They're in their early 50s, so they're not ready to retire at this point. They've got 2 kids, 19 and 16, and they have some problems. Here's their problems to start with. And you'll see as we go, I'm going to sometimes change their scope of their problems so to illustrate how we address the problem in a different way. But they've got credit card debt of $75,000.
Not unheard of. Happens to a lot of people. I see that type of credit card debt every single day.
Really?
Every single day.
It's shocking to think it gets up.
You know, it's funny.
Doesn't shock me,
30
but-
years ago, when I started out doing this, 10 to 12,000 was a tremendous amount. Now, 75,000 is kind of average. I just had somebody come in the other day with $149,000 for the credit card debt, and she didn't even blink about it. And
It's because the availability of credit is so much greater now than it used to be. I mean, go back, 40 years ago, Diner's card was the first credit card. You know, you'd be lucky to have $5,000 of available credit.
no,
And you
you'd
have
be lucky
one
to have
credit card.
$500 back then of credit.
And you know what? You weren't in debt like you are today either.
Yeah.
So a little bit of difference. So you got $75,000 of credit card debt. They've got tax debt. Income taxes owed, Jeff, from 2016 of $15,000.
That's, in what we
Happens.
deal with, that's low. That happens all the time. That,
Medical bills, $10,000. So these are their financial problems.
And with today's high deductibles, those $10,000 medical bills
Common.
are very
Very
Yeah,
common.
because so often you have a $5,000 deductible on each spouse. So all of a sudden you have 2 major surgeries hit in 1 year, you got $10,000. It doesn't have to be a major surgery. You get your fingernail clipped, it's $5,000 if you're in the hospital. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. We'll take a break, we'll come back and we'll deal with solving their problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
You're all set to retire. You have your home paid off, money in the bank, and sound investments. But if you're not careful, all the things that you work so hard for can disappear. At Samasco Financial, we'll help you prevent that. We go beyond ordinary asset management. We'll safeguard everything that you have by creating a plan made specifically for you. How much can you afford to lose? Nothing. Protect the people that you love and the things that you have. Call Samasco Financial today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. While on the break, the hospital called me and said, we don't charge that kind of money for fixing a fingernail. And I said, well, how much do you charge? They said, your bill would never be more than $7,000.
Right.
That's because it's $200 for an aspirin.
There you go.
The generic kind.
Yeah.
And that's gone up slightly in the last 2 years. Okay. Assets and income. We have their problems. Here's what they have. They have a house, fair market value $250,000. They have a first mortgage in the house of $230,000. So they have $20,000 of equity. Income. Frank sells cars. He's making $50,000 a year. Nancy is an administrative assistant. She's making $25,000. So they got $75,000 of income coming in. Frank and Nancy have come into the office, and they've heard about settling credit card debt on TV and avoiding bankruptcy. So they want to know about that. They've heard about settling tax debt for pennies on the dollar from watching these commercials on radio and television saying, whatever your tax problem is, you can settle for pennies on the dollar under the Fresh Start program. And they both have said right off the bat they're extremely worried about their credit score. These three questions that they've raised are common in every circumstance. Now, we'll talk about them, but I want to kind of give you a quick reaction to one of them. Brian, what's the story on the credit score?
All right, so when you look at your credit score and you're worried about it taking a hit, the hit that it's going to take is temporary. The result of removing and eliminating the debt could be permanent. So the question is you have to
Permanent
balance
for the good.
Yeah. So look at balancing the potential downward spiral of your credit score temporarily versus getting rid of debt that's going to carry with you forever. Because most people, like these folks that have $75,000 for the credit card debt, they're just paying their minimum monthly payments. Look at your bill.
All right, so I get it. So getting rid of the debt is really important. But when you say my credit score is going to go down temporarily, if my credit score goes down temporarily, aren't I then paralyzed during that period of time? Aren't I locked in jail?
Really? They got rid of debtor's prison at least last week.
Here's the point.
Earlier.
When we say your credit score is going to go down for a period of time, that's true, but it's completely overplayed as to how important the credit score is. It's only important if you need credit.
Credit scores heal. They get better.
I know, but
Here's who markets it to have a good credit score? The credit card companies, right? Yeah,
right.
they're
It's a badge of self-worth.
yeah, right,
Exactly.
right.
You know,
every credit card company now with your statement gives you your free credit score because they want to remind you every single day what's happening to your credit score, because if you're worried about your credit score, what's going to be the thing that's going to be the most important thing on your mind to do?
You're going to
Paying
pay
your
your bill.
Make that minimum monthly payment
Right.
every month. People panic about if they miss their payment, their credit score will go down.
I will tell you this, it is always the wrong decision.
Because, first of all, the credit score, unless you're borrowing money, suppose you want to refinance your house or you want to buy a new home, credit score is important. Don't do anything to hurt your credit score just before you're going to apply for a new mortgage. Don't do anything to hurt your credit score a week before you're going to go buy or lease a new car. But once you have the car and you need a new house, your credit score, sure, will have an effect maybe on your insurance costs, but that's a short-term increase in insurance for the broad benefit of getting rid of $100,000 worth of debt, which is costing you $2,500 a month in interest.
Look at what's happening here with Frank and Nancy. They're paying $1,875 a month on their minimum monthly payments on their credit cards on $75,000 for credit
And the
card
balances don't even go down.
if they could get rid of that $1,875 and their credit score got hurt, okay, now they've got cash, that the cash flow is positive, and their score is going to come back. And it's usually 18 months max before your score is back in the acceptable range where you're going to get a decent car loan.
And then it actually goes back higher to where it was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we see people that come in and they've tapped out their credit and their credit score is now in the 680 range. We stop paying their bills, they file a bankruptcy or we do debt resolution, the credit score is going to go down 100 points. But then once the debt is settled and eliminated, and then new credit is offered, which you take up and you fully pay every month, credit scores go back up into the high 700s.
and they skyrocket back into the 700s.
Very quickly. And so the whole point is, but the bigger point is, the credit industry wants to brainwash you. There's articles saying your credit score is more important than your grade point. It should be unlawful for anybody to write something like that, which is a blatant lie that is made for the purpose of brainwashing the American public. There should be a disclaimer. This is not really a true statement. We are writing this because we want you to be sure to make your credit card payments every month because it's in our financial interest for you to pay us 29% interest for the rest of your life so that you're guaranteed to die in poverty and have no money to retire with, but you'll keep working to 100 just to give us our 29% interest so we will get rich and continue to be richer and you will be poor. That should be the disclaimer on the article.
Put that on the business card.
I was going to say, wow, I don't think that'll fit
We
even on
should
the
stand
bill.
up and salute that,
That
man.
that might fit on a CVS receipt, you know, because those are. But
That's the reality. That's
That's
what's
the
really
reality
going
of
on
it.
here, and people need to realize it. So we wanted to, we're going to revisit the credit score all the time, and the reason is because constantly people come in and say, "But what about my credit score? I had this fight with my father for years. Well, what about my credit score? He's paying $300 a month on his credit cards. He's 85 years old, and then I have to give him $300 a month so he has food to eat. It doesn't make any sense."
what about all the money you're flushing down the toilet while you're trying to maintain your credit score while you're deep, deep, deep in debt? That doesn't make
Wow,
sense.
look at his face. Look at the passion on
I'm
that
confused.
face.
What money am I flushing down the toilet? You mean the
Every
interest I'm paying?
penny you're paying in interest. Every penny you're overpaying
So when
the
you
credit
make
card
those
companies.
payments, you're flushing the money down the
Right.
toilet.
Here's your image before we go to the break. Take $100 in $1 bills, stand over your toilet, and flush them down one at a time. You would never do that, yet you do it every day you pay your minimum monthly payments on your credit cards.
And I would not want to have to pay that water bill. We'll be back after the break.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh,
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 a.m. and Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9 on Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Every month we give away a free $100 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and a copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Just go to the website, pop in your email address, and you're entered into the contest. It's a great deal. We have seminar coming up on Wednesday, March 18th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Your Will, Your Trust, and Your Powers of Attorney, The Essentials. It's an estate planning seminar. We're going to go over all the basic estate planning rules, IRAs under the new 2019 law that was just passed, how to protect your assets for you and your children. Attendees receive a $300 gold certificate off the cost of any estate plan. The seminars are free. You want to sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or you can call 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-4357 to sign up. Then on Wednesday, April 8th, we have a debt seminar from 6 to 7:30 p.m., and it's called Let's Wash Away the Debt. That's because April showers bring May flowers, so I thought we would wash away the debt in April. We're going to go to all the methods we use to eliminate debt, solutions using bankruptcy, solutions outside of bankruptcy. The key is you want to eliminate the debt so that you preserve your future income for savings and for your family, that you're not giving it away in the way of paying interest payments to the credit card companies. Jeff Linden will do a special segment on how to resolve tax issues. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Also remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. Just call the firm at 888-235-HELP or go online on the website, thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, and you can request a free consult. We cover debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat Simasco, disability and workers' comp issues with Jeffrey Kirshner, criminal law issues with Scott Weinberg. Also on the websites we have free reports. There's a report brand new, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions, written by myself and Jeff Linden, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and from Pat Simasco, Retiree's Guide to Social Security. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Simasco Law, and Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Okay, so now let's take our example with Frank and Nancy. I'm going to put up their monthly budget. They've got $4,750 a month coming in. That's their net monthly paycheck based upon their $75,000 of gross income. They got their house payment, car payments, credit card payments of $1,875, medical bills, taxes, they're on an installment plan. Their total expenses right now are $6,875 a month. They're $2,125 underwater. That explains why they have $75,000 of credit card debt. They've been just taking cash advances to get through.
And that's a pretty typical thing that we see. Somebody's taken a pay cut, somebody has lost their job, and when they get back in the workforce as a family of four, now they're not making what they used to make.
Common situation. Okay, for a lot of different reasons where you fall behind. What's rule number one? What are we always trying to look to?
Eliminate the debt in the least costly, most effective fashion. Period.
Right. That's what we would consider our financial crisis management mantra. You want to eliminate the debt the fastest way at the least possible cost, because there's alternatives, and you don't want to choose an alternative that is slower and more costly. You want the optimal solution. Right, so in this situation,
the slowest, most costly would be to keep paying the minimum payment forever.
That's the credit card companies.
That's what they want. That's what the credit card industry wants you to do. Okay, yeah, and then if you never use the cards again and you pay the minimum monthly payment, you'll have it paid off in 39 years.
Yeah,
39 years.
Well, it depends. Some of those statements will say 39 years. I saw one the other day with minimum monthly payments 42 years.
So
That's
you've
the
got-
most expensive dinner they ever bought.
So I'm going to give you the quick options of what range of solutions we have for them. One is debt settlement on the credit card debt, tax relief services on the tax debt, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Chapter 13 bankruptcy, debt resolution, or as you indicated, just keep paying the cards the rest of your life. So Brian, in this situation, where would we go with Frank and Nancy?
All right, so Frank and Nancy are a typical family of four. I see this every day, and they come in, they've gotten overextended, and they're borrowing, and they can't, they've hit the wall. They've used up all of their savings, they've got nothing left in the bank, and they can't make the credit card payments this month. That's a typical situation. Frank and Nancy, who don't want to hurt their credit score, will come to the realization that it is better to worry about their credit score later, and it will heal, and eliminate all the debt like this. We're going to do a Chapter 7 bankruptcy for
That's what I
Frank and
wanted to
Nancy.
know. Okay, so how does it work? What does Chapter 7 do? In 2 minutes, tell us how Chapter 7 works and what's the outcome.
So Chapter 7, we do an analysis of your income and your expenses, and in this case, Frank and Nancy outspend their income by a considerable amount. After we get rid of all of their credit card debt, they go from being negative $2,125 a month to having a slight positive cash flow of $75 a month.
So you get rid of the credit card debt.
I get rid of the credit cards. I can get rid of the medical bills. I can even get rid of the IRS debt.
Jeff, will you allow him to get rid of the IRS debt?
I will allow him to get rid of the
So in
IRS debt as long
bankruptcy-
as it's income tax. If
So-
it's payroll tax, he can't.
But income taxes you can get rid
Income
of?
taxes, as long as they at least 3 years old, have been filed for at least 2 years, and you haven't been assessed in the last 8 months.
So these are 2016 income taxes. They were filed in 2017, so it's been at least 3 years.
No, it's almost 3 years at this point. Give it another month and a half, April 15th.
Yeah, okay.
And then, so we would know that.
We
and
would wait.
We
So-
would wait. We would analyze the problem. We would keep the creditors off your back. And that's what it's all about. We're going to find you a comprehensive, complete solution to your problem by doing the proper analysis. And in this case, Frank and Nancy need a Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
And here's the beauty for the Chapter 7. Chapter 7, agree with me, do you agree with this statement? Of all the methods we use to eliminate debt, the fastest, least cost, most effective, if you qualify, is the Chapter 7.
Absolutely.
You're done in how long?
It's basically 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. And how much of the $100,000 worth of debt between the credit card debt of $75,000, the tax debt, and the medical bills, I think it's $95,000. How much of that do they have to repay?
0.
So you pay back 0. It's done in 4 months. That's what you have to focus on. Other alternatives, and we're going to walk through them on the next show, are out there, but they may be more costly, so you wouldn't want to do them. You always pick the one that has the best, most efficient solution. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.